All right, saying I'm live. Where does it say? Oh, tag friends.
Yeah, tag. Yeah, you can tag me. It should
Got.
be something to invite too.
That's what I was thinking. All right.
But once we got you live, then we can circle back on that.
All right. Jeff, Daniel. No man. What the fuck? Now it's telling me to check my connection again. Get the fuck out of here, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm on live, and I'm going down. Yeah. We're probably gonna have to do some fucking Zoom shit. You know, the Zoom is connected from YouTube to Facebook too.
I didn't know that. How's that work?
We can go from YouTube to Facebook. If we go live from
On
YouTube,
YouTube?
yeah, it can be connected to Facebook.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
How's that work?
I haven't tried it yet, but I know it's an option. But I got my brother live from prison, Shockley Shabazz. Anyway, we out here. We having technical difficulties here, as they would say back in the
You're
day.
live.
Huh?
You're live right now.
All right, you going on? They can't stop the Macadine from being on the scene. We gonna keep going until we get it right. This will be a damn marathon. That's all. So those of you who are tuning into the Macadine, what is the Macadine all about? The Macadine means to regenerate and then exalt. If any being in America, in the world, needs regeneration, everybody would agree that man is most in need of regeneration. Man, mentally and physically, is at the weakest he has ever been, ever. And the main thing that's keeping man alive today is, for the most part, drugs and medicine, and not food, because the foods are ridden with pesticides, cancer causing, and sex destroying ingredients. Men are impotent, insane, and crazy because of what they're putting in their bodies. And religion is making it worse. These diets that's coming out of religion are causing the same damage, if not worse, than the foods that's in McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, etc. If we don't go from eating these industrial foods to eating organic, everything is going to get worse. Every disease that you have or think you're going to get is going to come on to you due to the fact that you're eating, your lifestyle, your diet style is a diet style that attracts disease and death, impotence and insanity. So everyone that's out here basically teaching you what to eat is only doing it for a personal profit and not based on personal experience and personal knowledge. If we were part of a tribe and we were looking for a location in which to settle in, we reach a settlement, and when we get there, there's a well. There's a well of water, and the two leaders of our tribe go to that well and drink out of that well, and one contracts dementia, heart disease, and diabetes. The other one contracts prostate cancer, the last stage of prostate cancer that is fatal. And to the degree that he had to go and get radiation seeds put inside of his body. Now, would you, after seeing those two men drink out of that well, go and drink out of that well yourself? Or would you go the opposite way? I say that to say this. You have two poster boys, two poster children of the Nation of Islam diet. Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan. And the example that I gave you with two men going to drink from a well and ending up with all these ailments. I'm talking about Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, who drank from the well of How to Eat to Live, books 1 and 2. That told you to drink cow's milk, brown rice, and navy beans. And told you if you ate those 3 things, you will live to be 120 years. Number 1, brown rice is indigestible. You don't get no nutritional value from eating brown rice. And as a matter of fact, brown rice is what they call a chelator because it takes out the major vitamins and minerals out of your body. Namely, the 3 major ones that every man needs: calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Brown rice, which is indigestible, removes those vitamins and minerals out of your body. So just imagine eating brown rice every day for 10 years and you're losing all your nutrients. But I want to talk about the navy bean, because the navy bean has been hailed as being the bean of God. And I don't beg to differ. I'm differing because it's an absolute lie. The navy bean, according to the scientists of the Nation of Islam, from their God, the navy bean was the bean that was eaten by the prophet Daniel. And in the Maccabean, you know, we have no respect for who they call prophets, because prophets are nothing but losers. If you look at the history of prophets, prophets are always getting jailed, killed, and exiled because they're weak and humble, and you can't be weak and humble and rule the world. So anyway, this was touted as being the bean of Daniel, who was thrown into a den of lions. Punk ass Daniel. And we understand why that bean was referred to the Muslims, because it's a bean that is a phytoestrogen bean. It's a bean that's in the phytoestrogen bean group. And phytoestrogens are the same as human estrogens, female hormones that make you effeminate and make you weak and make you docile. And to add insult to injury, most people don't even know why it's called the navy bean. Let's go into the history of the navy bean. It's called the navy bean because it's eaten by the weakest branch in the armed forces, the Navy. And we know the main characters that end up in the Navy, because if you're not in the Army or the Marines, and sometimes the Air Force is they kind of hard too, but when you're in the Navy, you know what that usually indicated. So when the people, the men, were in the waters, they had to feed them a diet in addition to saltpeter, which they give to people on boats, the Navy sailors. In addition to saltpeter, they gave them the navy bean, because the navy bean is an effeminate bean. And the navy bean, like brown rice, is a chelator. It takes all the nutrients out of your body, because it has lectins, lectins. And lectins are protective proteins in the bean to prevent people that's not supposed to eat the bean from eating it. Certain beans are made to be eaten by animals and certain other creatures, and not human beings. That's why when you eat them, they have a negative effect on our immune system. Like wheat bread, which is the other food that they tell you to eat, which is far worse than the other two, because wheat bread, the gluten, could cause what they call or refer to as gluten ataxia, which actually attacks the cerebrum of the brain and causes you permanent brain damage. Yeah, this is the diet of God. Brown rice, wheat bread, and navy beans. And you think that you're eating that meal or type of food for 20 years is going to make you a man? No, it's going to make you a broke down, good for nothing, soldier, to be told what to do by somebody who has made you think that they got more intelligence and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding than you. So any man that's eating a Navy bean need to throw that shit out. The only bean that a man should eat is the fava bean. I call that bean the bean that God overlooked. The only bean that a man should eat, or a woman, because all other beans are phytoestrogens and they contain lectins, which chelate or take out the minerals and vitamins in your body. That's what they do. And I used to wonder why there was a high level of insanity when it came to the older followers in the Nation of Islam. The mad scientists who were fasting, eating every other day, and then once they got off fasting for 2 and 3 days, which removes enzymes, vitamins, and minerals out of your body, they go and eat a meal full of that which is going to do the same thing that fasting did, chelate and remove essential vitamins and minerals out of your body. If you do this for 30 or 40 years, what do you get? You get dementia, you get heart disease, you get prostate cancer. All the things that these two leaders had and are suffering, as well as their followers who are going along with that diet of death. The fava bean is the only bean whose lectins work in a good way. And those lectins cure both dementia and colon cancer. The only bean that a man should eat or a woman should eat, and that's the bean that God overlooked. And that's why that bean is in our bean pie of the macadamia. And it's the only bean that I recommend any man eat. And if you notice another thing about the diet of God, they deliberately take away the most essential nutrient and mineral that a man needs in his life, and that is zinc. Superman shouldn't have had an S on his chest. He should have had a Z, because zinc, is the missing link for us to go to the physical level that we need to be on. Zinc is man's superpower. Without zinc, we can't manufacture sperm. We can't do anything as a man without zinc. Zinc nourishes the heart, nourishes the mind, deals with over 300 functions of the body. Without zinc, we're deflated men, and that's the #1 cause and deficient mineral in the brains of Alzheimer patients. Because the God diet, the one that you find in the Old Testament, is a diet devoid of zinc. That's why they tell you don't eat seafood. They tell you don't eat, what's that main one that we eat? Oysters. Why not? Because they contain the highest levels of zinc, and zinc makes man a superman. You can't be manageable when you're eating foods rich in zinc. It makes you a warrior. The same reason that they removed the essential nutrients out of the original beer before the Beer Purification Act. All the drinks and foods in America are designed to neuter and make a man lean in the direction of being a homosexual. That's it, that's all. All the foods. All of them. McDonald's, the conventional food, look up the word ractopamine. Ractopamine. That's in all the foods. That's in all the meats. That's in all the meats, all the industrial meats that you go to the stores and buy. Your turkey, your bacon, beef or pork, ractopamine, which is a steroid, a poison, is in all the meats to make you infertile and to make you crazy. The side effects of that steroid, one of them is insanity. So y'all better wake up and recognize the diet mind connection, and stop looking at yourself as being a Christian or a Muslim or a citizen, and look at yourself in your proper respect as not just God with a capital G, but Gog, meaning God over all gods. Because as I keep on saying, we manufactured God. We created God. So it's up to us to now break the spell that we created on ourselves. We got to break the spell. And we got to take our rightful place as the head and stop being the damn tail and the butt of everybody's jokes. I don't know what's wrong with this connection. I don't know what's wrong with this connection, but you got to understand the zinc link. Got to get your vitamins and minerals in your body, and you got to get sunlight. That's the other missing link. We're disconnected from our brother the sun, which is also rich in nutrients and vitamins. If you go out in the sun for 15, 20 minutes at the right time of the day, if you are hungry, you'll feel full afterwards, because going into the sun is actually a meal in itself, especially for the melanated man. Especially for the melanated man. But what we're talking about of the Macadine, I challenge anyone, any questions you have about the Macadine and what I'm teaching, what we're teaching, bring it to the table. We're challenging everybody, anybody. Bring your serpent and let's see if our serpent here will eat it up or not. But I guarantee you it will. I guarantee you can't nothing do anything but agree with it. That's the best thing to do, because no book, no Quran, no Bible, no what they call it, Mormon book, Book of Mormon, nothing could stand with this, because this has gone to the root of all things. And the root of all things is that man is the greatest force and power, not just in the universe, but the multiverse. It ain't no damn aliens in no sky. Those aliens that you've been seeing and been seeing since the late 30s were the Germans, who were on the moon since 1935. The moon had been explored and been on. So that alien shit is old. And then a lot of them crash dummies that they found were fake anyway. They were made up, created, and stitched up creatures. It's time to wake up. And brothers, we got to take our place, man. The woman ain't the problem. The woman is not the problem. We got to take our place and make her get the hell out of the wrong lane, stay in her lane, and we take over the lane that we allowed to get polluted with the wrong thoughts and the wrong individuals. So I don't know what happened to my connection. I don't know where the brothers are at, but I'm hoping that we're still connected. But this is 46 chapters. Anybody that read this book, I guarantee you that you will learn at least 100 new things. And not just anything, but essential things. See, a lot of people got a lot of knowledge, but none of it is worth a damn. What is it doing? We got scholarly brothers that can speak greater than Martin Luther King. But what are they doing? What are they building with their knowledge? They're sounding good. They're wearing dashikis. They're sounding strong. They're sounding powerful. But what are they doing? That's where a man's power is measured by. Manifestation, which is the first three letters of manifestation, is man. What are you manifesting? And if you would like to manifest, I know the question is, how can I manifest? And that's what the book is about. How to connect to your personal power. You don't need no God. Everything that you need is already inside of you. Everybody that comes to you with God, you always get in trouble. You always fall. Because the human being by nature is allergic to God. That's why historically, the only way people were converted was through being conquered. No one accepted no God because it's not in our nature. Man's nature is to be sovereign, to be king. Not to bow down to anything. And when they tell you to bow down to the ground, what they're doing is dislocating you from the sun. They should be telling you to look at the sun, not bow your head to the ground. That's backwards. Got to renew our minds. We suffer from what they call stinking thinking. We have to clear our brains out. We got to throw away all that bullshit that we've been taught. Start all over. You got to go in the closet and find your personal purpose. Find who you are. The greatest question that you can ever answer is, who are you? Which is an acronym for way. Because discovering who are you, the answer to who are you, is going to give you the way, the path that you need to go. Simple as that. And it will prevent you from being pimped by these other charlatans that's out here coming in the name of their ghost God and their deceit. All of them in the year 2022 are falling. All these religious liars. Because we know that Christ is not dealing with a person. He's dealing with all of us. We're all gods. And I ain't talking about gods with a little g. That's the greatest trick you have ever been told. That's a trick verse. You're all gods, children of the Most High God. Didn't I tell you that a god is a roach? A god is a dog. You got over 130 animals being worshipped in the world. Because everything around here is a god. But the human being is greater than the average god. If you're made in the image and likeness of something, the image of it, that's the same thing. So if you're in the image of who is called Almighty God, you're in the image of that image. You're almighty. And for you to accept that ye are all gods, children of the Most High God, is taken away from you. That's why I call it the trick verse, because the verse is Proverbs 82:6. And when you look at that 82:6, it's really a simple mathematical equation. Simple subtraction. 8 minus 2 equals 6. When you accept that you are a God with a little g, you take yourself from the 8, which is your infinite self, to the 6, which is your imperfect self, your incomplete self. The only way you're going to be who you really are is to embrace who you really are. And that is not a Christian, a Muslim, a God. It's Almighty God. All of us are gods. Gods. God over gods. Take it or let it alone. And the only way you're going to take to the heights that you're born and destined to take to is for you to embrace that reality. You're allergic to everything else. Anything else besides the dose of information you need about yourself is not going to do you any good. That's why all these different religious groups, they all suffer from the same ailments. You can't tell a Christian from a Muslim. They both fat, they both diabetic, both got high blood pressure or whatever. All of them are dying like dogs and men. Because all of them are living off of scrap information that other people are giving you about yourself. You're a human being. You are a Homo sapiens. You are a homosexual. You are all these different things. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? Let you get the definition from yourself. They don't want you to use the greatest computer in the universe, which is inside your head. They don't want you to use that. They want you to rely on everybody except the most powerful being in the universe, you. Get your copy of the Macadine on Amazon, on Facebook. We're everywhere. YouTube. And I got 525 members. We got 534 as of right now on the Macadine. We need all of you to go to YouTube, like, subscribe, and join Macadine University. It's time to take the Macadine to the world. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm not gonna take up any more of your time. We're gonna find out how to get this group thing going, and we're gonna have it right by tomorrow. I promise you. But from now to then, peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Later.